What is up, you guys? My name is Marcellus, and today I'm going to bring you a review of the Berserk #3, the third movie of Berserk. And you know what? First, I'm gonna give my review and then my feelings on it. You know, as always, the same format. But let's get right down to this. So, basically, the third movie picks up where the second one left off, of course, where Griffith is being tortured for sleeping with the princess. And he has certain things done to him, like his tendons cut in his arms and his legs. And it's later said in the movie that, you know, even standing for Griffith isn't like reality. It isn't reality anymore. So, you know, in the beginning we see him lying there, hardly alive, but some demons come to him, and I guess the leader of the God Hand, the one with the brain up top, basically tells him, "You'll meet in my realm pretty soon." So we head back to, we skip another scene where we see Casca, and basically she's the head of the Band of Hawks since Griffith left, since Griffith was captured and since Guts had left. And so she's the head of the Band of Hawks, and they're not doing too well, but they're still a solid group. And of course somebody tries to attack the Band of Hawks because they one of the members lead a group back, not on purpose, but they get traced back to where the Band of Hawks are, and pretty much all-out war starts. There's three assassins, I think, that are, you know, going around just killing everybody. And then when Casca is getting ready to be killed, Guts returns after being gone for a year, and then he pretty much finds out what happened to Griffith, and, you know, I guess Casca blames him for what happened. At first, like in one scene, she goes bipolar, bro. She changes from blaming him to realizing the sacrifice he's done and his pain, and then they start making love. And after they made love, basically Guts admits his feelings for her too, you know, saying that he wants to hold her more than once, more than this time. Well, while they're sleeping, a skull knight, whatever you want to call it, basically comes to him and tells him, you know, "I've seen so many struggles, but yours is probably the worst that I've ever seen, and mankind probably can't bounce back for this." Stuff like that. And he just disappears into the wind, and Guts has so many questions. So, of course, Guts agrees to go find Griffith and rescue him back. And they intrude the castle where the princess is waiting for him, and she's so happy to, you know, finally get Griffith out of there. But when they get there, they have they get locked in the room with Griffith. And the thing that's bad about that is people are so horrified about what happened with Griffith that, you know, Guts didn't want them. He wanted them to stay back because his skin was basically see-through. You could see his internal organs. The dude that tortures him was later came on and told us, the audience, what he had did to him. And basically Guts goes berserk, and he basically kills that dude. And it's like he kills him, and he tortures him for a quick second. You know, he cuts his tongue out of his mouth like he did to Griffith, and, you know, drops him. But before that, one interesting thing I found was Guts had recently met he had just recently met the Night Skull. But when people were saying something about it, sorry about that, when people were talking about it, the princess was talking about it, he realized it as a myth. Like, he took it as a myth, even though he had met the dude that was on the horse with a skull in the previous scene. So was he just being a smart ass, or was he not believing what he saw? I don't know. So basically the Hawk gets Griffith back. They take him back, but then they realize, you know, how much a reality it is that Griffith will be able to fight again. Because everybody's so hyped that he's back, all the rest of the Band of Hawk is like, you know, we'll rack up victory after victory now, and basically we won't be able to struggle anymore. You know, with Griffith, we're unbeatable. Stuff like that. But they realize, you know, in the conditions he's in, it's pretty much useless. So, you know, Guts tries to take care of Griffith, and, you know, he basically tries to bandage him up and keep him as a friend, keep him close. And then Kafka goes in there where Griffith makes a move on her because he's seen them hug, and she basically takes it. And then he overhears a conversation between him and Guts and Kafka, where Kafka's saying, you're his equal. So he decides to run the bandwagon down, ends up in a lake where he finds that little necklace of the God Hand, the one with the face on it, I guess. And he basically, accepts it. He, realizes, this is what I want to do. I want to become a king. And we keep seeing that flashback of him running towards the castle. And I guess it's because he doesn't want to be equal to anybody. He doesn't think he's equal to anybody. But before the whole eclipse happens, he finally realizes what Guts was trying to do for him and what Guts meant to him. And I guess it was too late. So, the eclipse is the eclipse. We all know what happens in the eclipse. People are getting fucking murdered. One thing I have to say about the eclipse, I thought it was going to be bloodier, but, it was still good. The animation in the eclipse was great. And while the eclipse is happening, we see something that we didn't see in the anime. We see a lot of things in the movie that we didn't see in the anime. We see the legendary Skull Knight fighting Zod, trying to get into the eclipse. And we flash back into the eclipse where people are getting murdered. The Vanderhawk is pretty much just wiped out. And then the infamous rape scene happens. But while that's happening, the legendary Skull busts in and goes to save Casca and Guts. But one thing I didn't see in the anime that I thought was cool is that when Femto Griffith closes his hand, something like it surrounds it and just disappears like a fucking black hole or something like that. I don't know what that was, but it was sweet. So then he rescues Casca and Guts, and Griffith, Femto, basically had a chance to kill them right there, but he decides to let them go. And that's pretty much that for the eclipse. When Guts gets, after this, we never seen this before. For us anime watchers, I've actually read up to the eclipse, but I haven't read past. We see Griffith, we see Guts all bandaged up, his nub, his one eye, and we see Casca. This is when we realize, Casca is traumatized. She can't talk, and, I guess the legendary Skull Knight wants to train Guts and tell him, basically what's coming. You'll have to be prepared for it. So that's the end of the movie. At the end credits, we see Guts, put on his arm and put his sword on his back and walk out like a total badass. That's the best credits I've ever seen in an anime movie. But the thing is, will this lead to another series? I don't know. My personal feelings about this movie is that it's very good. It's really good. I like the animation. I like the soundtrack. The soundtrack is A1 as always, perfect. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Hopefully this leads to another series with good animation. Not picking up from the beginning because we've already done that with the movies, but hopefully picking up where the movie left off in the manga. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment what you thought about the movie, and do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys later.